Welcome back, everybody. Got a fun one today. In my last video, you may recall, I was talking about the International S1954 dump truck, circa 1985. And I had two problems with it before I could sell it. Number one, the air-powered windshield wipers didn't work. And number two, the warning light on the dash for low air brake pressure was basically stuck on. So I fixed the first problem. That one was real easy. All I had to do was remember how to turn the wipers on. But we still have a problem with the air brake pressure, and I thought it was going to be real simple. It's going to be a bad switch, so I didn't even bother to turn the camera on. But a little bit of tinkering later, and it's obvious that we have a bigger problem. So let's get into it. I've already done a little poking and prodding, and I got a hunch about what's going on here. Okay, so what we're looking at right here, this is the air compressor, and this is your standard Bendix D2 air governor. And right here in this port, which is basically tied to the air tanks, that's our reservoir pressure. So that's the feedback to the governor to tell the thing when to unload. And they put a pressure switch in that port. And what I believe is supposed to happen is when this switch basically drops below whatever pressure, let's say 60 psi, it will close to ground and basically allow this little wire right here to become grounded. And when the pressure is above 60 psi, the switch is open. So I think the first thing we'll do is just check this switch here to make sure it's operational. So I just got my test light. I'm going to hook up to battery power, which I can get off of the solenoid here on the firewall, and that's working. So you can see right now that I have the switch. The switch is basically grounded, and I just looked. The system pressure right now is about 60 psi, about 60, maybe 65 psi. So this jury rig setup right here allows me basically to put shop air into the system in place of running the truck and using the air compressor, just because I don't want to run the smoky old thing inside my shop. So here we go. And you see the test light just went out, so I'm going to go check the pressure gauge and see where we're at. Alright, it's about 70 pounds. Okay, so I just used the brakes to bleed off some of the air. We're back down around 60 pounds, and you see we got ground again. So nothing wrong with the pressure switch itself. Alright, I'll give you the next clue of what's going on here. So this is the wire that normally would hook to that switch, the pressure switch. I've got my test light still in the same configuration where it's hooked up to battery power. And watch this. So when I connect it to that spade terminal, the light comes on, but it doesn't come on strong. This would be strong. So I think what's going on here is we've got a short to ground somewhere in this wire, and it runs from here through the firewall into a big bundle of wires and up to the instrument panel. So somewhere along that path, I think we've got a short. Okay, so I've already tunneled into this instrument panel because I wanted to find basically the other end of that wire. And getting this thing out of here isn't a whole lot of fun. I'll show you why. Okay, grab some light here. Oh, hopefully you guys can see this, but you got to reach up underneath the dash and disconnect the tach cable and the speedo cable. It's got a mechanical tach and a mechanical speedometer. So behind this instrument panel is this big plug here, and that's your connection for all your warning lights. And I traced out the wires, and basically this one right here is for the air pressure. So you see we've got that same kind of a weak light there. So that is shorted to ground somewhere. And then you look at this one right here, that's basically the parking brake switch tells you whether or not the park brake is set or released, and it's also got kind of a weak ground. Well, we're going to have to pick a place to start, and it's not going to be fun. See all this crap that's been added on? All these switches for the plow lights and tailgate and PTO. Check this out. What a mess. Just looking at it makes me want to grab a fire extinguisher. Yeah, we got wire nuts, we got butt splices, we got electrical tape, we got fuses that have come apart. We got lots of fun stuff here. Lots of inline fuse holders. Yeah, somebody's had some fun. Check out the fuse panel up there. When's the last time you saw a vehicle with glass fuses? Jeez. We're just going to back away slowly. I ran a jumper wire from my spade terminal over here to my test light, and I'm just going to start wiggling things around until we find maybe a flicker in the test light. Here we go. I don't see anything yet. Well, crap. I was playing around with this connector right here where it goes into the back of the fuse panel, and my light went out. And now I can't get it to come back on. So I don't know. I have to try to get this connector apart and see what's going on, but I think we might have found the source of our problem. Alright, I don't know what in the world is going on inside of here. Somebody put some kind of grease, or I don't know what it is. It's almost like, yeah, I have no idea what it is. It's like tar almost, or pitch. Anyway, I think I might see the problem. So, let me grab a pointing device here. Our connection is this one right here. Yeah, that one right there. And you see how it's pulled in? The blade is actually, it's lower than all the other ones in that connection. So I don't think that's right. I gotta try to clean some of this tar off here and figure out what in the world is going on. Guess we could check the other side and see. Yeah, I don't have any action on my test light on the other side of that either now. Okay, well, shoot. Wish we had something a little more definitive than that. So I don't know what inside this could cause it to short to ground. I don't know what this stuff is. It's some nasty, nasty stuff. Yeah. Like I said, it's almost like some kind of a tar. I don't know. But I'm scraping it all out of there because I think it's actually stopping this connector from fully seating. And I don't know if that stuff's conductive or... yeah, I don't know. Alright, I did the best I could with it, and we stuffed it full of dielectric grease. So let's see if we can put it back together. I don't know why that pin was pushed out. I don't know why the thing was full of tar. I don't know a lot of things about this. Okay, well, that looks pretty good. Who knows? Even the bolt's full of tar. We no longer have a short to ground. But why? I don't really know. I wonder if maybe the pin was so loose here that it was dropping down and contacting one of the other pins inside the connector. I don't know, I don't have a good answer. I think we'll just put the dash back together and we'll move on. Okay, I've got the instrument panel hooked back up. So when I turn the key on, I have a bright light for the brake pressure, and I do not have a light for the parking brake. And the pressure is about, I don't know, 45, 50 pounds right now. So I'm gonna go throw some air in it and we'll watch that light and see if it goes out. There's 60 pounds. There we go. So we just hit about 70 pounds. Well, folks, that's it. I even fixed the backlights while I had the cluster out. But let's give her a little shake here. Should come on right there. Cool. It works. So we're supposed to have tail lights and four-way flashers. Looks like none of the marker lights are on, none of the tail lights are on, and only 3 out of the 4 four-way flashers are working. So I guess we better fix that. Okay, we got a nice big rat's nest going on back here. This looks lovely. It's like that wire is broken. Now normally when I see Scotch locks, I just start cutting because these things are junk. Well, we might be splicing in some wire because it looks like our insulation is getting pretty crusty. So we got to find a spot to pull it apart and do a little digging. Okay, I got this one working. Just had a bad bulb. This one does not work. And the problem is somewhere in here. I just started touching these wires and they fell apart. So, well, I wonder why this light doesn't work. Jesus, look at this. Clear full of rust. Nothing. Ta-da! Alright, let me catch you guys up. I went ahead and replaced both lights. This one was good, but the other one was really badly corroded where the terminals connected, so they're like $14 a piece. I just went ahead and replaced the whole bucket and everything. And then we're getting the wiring all sorted out. And I think I've got for sure I've got these tail lights working, and then I've got the top mounted tail lights working. The strobes were working fine before, so I'll put those back together. And then what I'm working on right now is these marker lights. I have 3 in the middle, and then there's 2 on either corner. And we need to have those working. So rather than try to fix that abortion over there, I went ahead and made up a whole new harness. And I got some new pigtails. So once I get that installed, we should be good to go. And I've got to go around and shrink about 1 million of these shrink fit butt connectors. Well, I think we've got them all. What a pain in the butt. These stupid marker lights down here. There's 7 marker lights. How many of those bulbs do you think were good? If you answered 1, congratulations. 1 bulb out of 7. So we got 5 new grommets, 5 new pigtails, 6 new bulbs, and now we have 7 working marker lights. Oh, and a new harness. All that's left is to pretty this up and tie up this harness the best we can. And it's kind of a tough job because on these dump trucks, it's just going to get ripped off again. Because, you know, when they dump, they have a big, you know, mound of dirt or gravel or whatever, and it mounds up against the back of the truck, and it just destroys everything back here. So we'll do the best we can. Okay, let's take one last look. So we got some loom wrap on that top brake light, got the strobe light put back in, 2 new lights and grommets at this corner. Everything underneath there is tied up nice and tidy. 2 new tail lights, and we got rid of that great big nasty looking rat's nest that was there. And you'll notice 3 new lights and grommets there in the middle. So we still got some wires poking through there. And this is an air line that runs up to the tailgate cylinder, so we can't do a whole lot about that. But I got rid of that wire that was hanging down on this side. And here's the one light that was good, so we're not going to touch that. New light there. And then I tried to clean up this other brake light as best I could. Oh, there's actually a piece of like THHN, you know, like household wiring that's run into this light. So anyway, we're gonna stay away from that. It does work. Well, there you have it. So how do you fix the tail lights on a dump truck? You start cutting, and you end up with a big old pile like this. Hopefully my wiring holds up. I forgot to use the manufacturer provided Scotch locks that came with the new tail lights. Okay guys, we're gonna quit there. And I think we accomplished what we set out to do, which was to fix the low air pressure warning light and fix the other lights that were, you know, not working on the truck. And it turned out to be a lot more work than what I expected, but I should have known better. This is an old truck, and many hands have touched it. And, you know, like I said, usually with, you know, dodgy wiring like that, the best way to fix it is just snip, snip, and start over. So we did the best we could with what we had. And, you know, obviously, just like the other repairs that I've made to this truck, you got to stop somewhere. You know, we could rewire the thing from tip to tail, but I don't think it's necessary. As long as the lights are working, you know, everybody's going to be happy. Now, if you're like me, you probably have a lot of questions, such as, what was actually causing the short to ground? Why did the short to ground disappear when we messed with that connector to the fuse box? Why was there some kind of mysterious tar-like substance inside that connector? Why was the blade for the circuit we were working on pushed, or you know, the pin pushed out of that connector? Why were there 2 parallel wires crimped to that connector that run all the way down to the same switch and are crimped to the same spade terminal there? I have no idea. And it appears to be factory wiring, as best I can tell. So I don't have the slightest clue why they would do it that way. You know, other questions: why does the parking brake light sometimes come on and other times not come on? Is it related to that circuit? I have no idea. Can't find a parking brake switch anywhere. I have no idea. But the low air pressure warning light works. That's the only one the DOT cares about, so we're going to move along. So anyway, as always, thanks for watching.